Like I had never fucking felt so good and so like a warmth in my soul over a crowd of kids yelling, "I have an erection, I have no direction."
How'd you find Darky? What song was it from?
Holocaust.
Yeah, same. I think I found him like 10K, but I saw it on my YouTube and I like listened to it,
Maybe
forgot
it
about
wasn't
it, and then came back
Holocaust.
because Holocaust was popping like real early on. That was,
Mm-hmm.
I think, like his first big song.
That was his first big song.
Yeah.
Fucking, I think it was Holocaust. He had to have just dropped it because Dirty Butt. I don't know if you know who Dirty Butt is.
Yeah.
Dirty Butt was like, "Yo, listen to this kid, Little Darky," and I'm like, "Okay." I didn't think much of it, I'm just like, "Okay."
Yeah.
And I listened to it. He's like, I'm working with him. We got like music together and shit. I like that. So I listened
Yeah.
to it. And I'm like, yo, who the fuck is this? Like,
Yeah.
and I tried messaging him relentlessly on Instagram and he would not fucking open my message. And then like fucking messaged a fan page. He only had 2,000 Instagram followers. I'm like, what the fuck isn't this guy answering me?
Yeah.
But fucking I messaged a fan page, and the fan page got me in touch with him, and then he got in
Oh,
touch
okay.
with me, and then fucking we met. He had a show over there. We did the Airbnb, and there was like, I wish I recorded this show, bro. I really wish I recorded it. Like I
Was
just didn't
it
think to at a time, bro. There was only like 20 people there. So I remember him, doing Holocaust and shit live, and there only being like five of us like turning up like in the pit.
yeah.
Like, and I'm just like, damn, looking back on that, that was such like a weird moment because seeing that Spider Gang show when I was in LA being on stage with them was
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? But it got me thinking and seeing all that from seeing Darky at a show with five of us turning up to Holocaust to fucking 500 people at a sold out venue turning up to Meth Head Freestyle. Like I had never fucking felt so good and so like a warmth in my soul over a crowd of kids yelling, "I have an erection, I have no direction" before. like,
That was
like,
sick though. That was
like
sick.
I had never like gotten goosebumps over something like that. And then when Brumme was yelling meth in my pipe and that shit hit different and the kids like crowd surfing rolling like that, I had never got goosebumps from someone yelling meth in my pipe and that shit hit different before.
Yeah. Nah, the energy
Like
the energy there was sick.
they have to be like the most dominant group in music right now. Like Spider Gang's gotta be. I can't. Like, what other groups do we have in music right now? Like,
No, I was thinking about that. I was thinking like, I mean, you have maybe like more mainstream like ASAP Mob type of stuff, but no one really. What do they do?
but yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is ASAP Mob even like a thing anymore? Like they are, but
I
are
I
they?
think so, but they don't. Yeah, they don't really do anything,
You know what I mean? Does like
and they don't have
do
like a
they
fan
rep
base like that.
ASAP? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. ASAP Rocky has a fan base, but he doesn't even really do music like that no more. He's more just existing and doing fashion. Although I will say when Rocky does drop music, it's always a good surprise.
Yeah,
Fucking a lot of the shit when him and Tyler were on that run, that was good. Just dropping
yeah.
packs and shit. Fucking Ferg, I haven't heard anything from Ferg in a while. There's no disrespect to Ferg, I just haven't heard anything. I don't know what he's been up to. And then 12E and Nash just never really picked up. So okay, ASAP Mob, but like Pro Era is not really a thing anymore. You know what I mean? Odd Future is not really a thing anymore.
Yeah,
Fucking um YBN's gone.
long gone.
Brockhampton might be the only group I can say that's bigger than Spider Gang, possibly. Are they though?
Yeah,
Are they though?
I think on like a mainstream level, but they've been around for a long time, and their reach isn't like. I feel like Spider Gang has potential to have much more reach
Yeah.
because they dip their hands into tons of different areas that I haven't seen Brockhampton and other groups do.
And I'll have to do more research on this, but I have to correct myself. Because in the corpse interview I did say Spider Gang is the first group born solely on the internet, but I might be wrong. That might be Brockhampton. Because
Maybe.
Brockhampton formed off of I'm pretty sure they formed off of a blog, like a Kanye blog. Like they all met on I think it was called I Love Kanye or whatever. It was like a music blog or whatever, or a forum. It was like a forum when forums were popping back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, Reddit, there was like a bunch of those back in the early, I feel like an old man, back in the early days of the internet.
Yeah.
Fucking
Chat rooms.
Yeah, they all met on that. So I might be wrong on that, unless some of the members knew each other in real life. None of them knew each other in real life. All of them met completely 100% online. So aside from Brockhampton, like like you said, on a mainstream level, Spider Gang is probably like the biggest group in the underground. Just trying to think of more underground groups that aren't really known on like a mainstream level like that.
Yeah.
Brockhampton's kind of like right on the line. Like I feel like they might have been bigger a few years ago. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like what constitutes mainstream. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's kind of
I just think maybe not mainstream per se, but if I go around polling people, a lot more people would know Brockhampton.
Definitely.
But I think like Spider Gang, like you were saying, they did a show 2 years ago, and it's only been 2 years, and they've grown so much already. Like I just feel like the potential is like they have everything they need to just be huge.
Yeah, and they're definitely a solid group of guys. Like Flacco was saying, Flacco told me, he's like, yeah, and there's like no animosity between like anybody in Spider Gang. Like there's nobody like secretly over here like hating on somebody. Like we all get along like great. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's perfect.
Darky even said in his first interview, like Spider Gang is more of like a club than like a group, like a music group. Because like you look at like Plague and like Troy the Editor, like they don't make music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and that's what I'm talking about. Like they got the clothing aspect, they got the visuals, a lot of them do art, and it's just super creative and different.
So we could even say collective. Because if you look at it, they're kind of like the new Odd Future.
Yeah, and I've been thinking about that a lot. Like the Odd Future comparison is definitely there, and I feel like they'll have a similar influence. Like Odd Future not only influenced music but style and clothing, and I mean they got Plague on their team. They got kids wearing their merch and dressing like them, and it's just a lot of similarities early on.
Hella similarities. I think they're going to go on to have the same influence. Like Odd Future, like really a big change in music. Like
huge
change in music. Like Odd Future might have been, because like I said, it was on Dat Piff and shit, looking on mixtapes and shit like that. So I think that was around the time Odd Future. Yeah, because that's how I found Tyler the Creator. Bastard dropped, and I got it off Dat Piff early.
Oh, okay.
Like early, or I was on Tyler the Creator early, and I got on Earl Sweatshirt. You know what I'm saying? Like, fucking. So it was around that same time. Odd Future was like the first group. Like I was like heavy into like searching all their music. Like, you know what I'm saying? Finding everything they did ever. Going back to finding Earl Sweatshirt before he was Earl Sweatshirt, when he was like Sly Tendencies at like 14. Like, fucking downloading all that shit. But like, there's hella similarities because their fans all do the same thing.
Yeah.
Like Darky's fans all go and like, oh, we want to find his Brahmin music. Go find all his old Brahmin music and shit like that.
Yeah.
You know,
they have like the tightest fan base. Like they die for him type of cult like fan base. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, definitely. And like you were saying, like there's just so many similarities between them and Odd Future now.
Yeah. Especially, and they got like they got people already, like the whole underground. Like sometimes I stream and have people send me music, and just all the time, bro, I just see like the copycats and like the one, like they're all, it's like I want to be Lil Darky or A14, but I'm not good. And that's just kind of like a lot of the underground now. Bruh. A lot of the people that try to make music.
I can't tell you how many kids I get send me music, and then I go on the SoundCloud page, and it's like same shit, trying to copy Spider Gang or NASCAR or Darky A14 type, and it's like all songs with all capital letters, like I killed my parents or suck my dick.
Yelling like, into a USB mic saying just the most insane things.
Peeking like a bitch, yelling and shit like that. And
like like Spider Gang didn't get where they are, making something that they already heard. They did it differently.
They did something completely different, and I think
Yeah.
a lot of that has to attribute to, Wendigo, because when Darky and Wendigo met, that's when Darky finally had his own sound. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Shout outs to Cubensis and Salsa because they fill in the gaps. But
Yeah.
Wendigo is just like, that's when Darky kind of had like his own sound. And like, then
Yeah.
Wendigo started working with everyone else in Spider Gang. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, he definitely encompasses the Spider Gang sound like very, very well.
Yeah, their production and just all their producers and even the handful outside of Spider Gang they work with are just super unique and talented.
Yeah, even like Corpse and MK. Like, I heard MK is like a fucking evil genius when it comes to making music.
He produced a lot of Swamp, is what I saw. The new
Really?
Darky album. Yeah,
Yeah, he
a
did.
few
He did.
songs,
He
I think.
did. He did. MK plays a bunch of fucking instruments apparently.
Yeah, because he
Like,
all the beats he was making on that album were like guitar beats. So I was assuming he just shreds on the guitar.
bruh. Apparently MK is a very super freakishly fucking talented individual.
I believe it.
Like Flacco was like, yeah, bro, he'll be over here playing guitar, then he'll just pull out a fucking violin and then like jump on the 808.
That's
And it's
crazy.
like, what the fuck is happening?
No, he's crazy. I love his music. He's an interesting person.
He is a very, very interesting character.
Yeah.
He kind of sees his performance art at the same time, which I think is dope. Me and MK, damn, only probably like 100 people max maybe saw it, but me and MK did like an IG live interview that we deleted like the next day.
Oh, I think I saw
Fucking,
you posting about that.
yeah, we deleted it like the next day, and he said a lot about how he sees music as performance art and shit like that.
Yeah.
We just deleted it because it's like, first interview, like I don't know if we want to do it on like an IG live thing. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So we just deleted it.
Yeah.
But, fucking yeah, I just think as a group they have everything they need and they're super fucking talented. Like between even the people that rap, like MK is a dope producer, Corpse is a dope producer. Fucking, I'm probably missing some. Brahme makes beats. Like Darky has made beats. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like Christ Dillinger is learning how to play the fucking guitar. Like and has played the guitar on his album.
Yeah.
Like they just have everything. And it's like all of them, it's crazy how they all have kind of different sounds and it all fits so well together.
Yeah. Like the
Like,
that one song where they all collabed, the 2 year song.
yeah,
Like it was great. It was awesome. And it's like I like if they started dropping like tapes together and stuff too, that would just be super sick. Like it would work and it would be interesting.
I could see that happening. I don't see why they wouldn't.
Yeah, definitely. It's probably likely to happen in the future. But they got, like you were saying, they got everything they need right now to be huge. Like they got the cult fan base, they got the music, the visuals, the merch, and just like the style, all that stuff. And it's like it's ready. I feel like, or they're
Yeah.
getting there.
Now, Spider Gang is an example of a group or a collective when it's done right.
Yeah.
Like, there's nobody trying to outshine each other. Obviously, Darky's the biggest, like, on a substantial scale.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's substantially bigger than everyone else in the group. But, like,
Yeah.
it's not like there's no animosity between anybody. Nobody's trying to outshine each other. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He doesn't act like he's the shit. Or you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like he's a very, very good human being. Like
Yeah.
they're just an example of a collective when a collective is done right. Like he sheds light on his fellow, collective members. And
Yeah.
they all help each other, they all share each other's shit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They all and even talking to Wendigo, like he said, they don't plan anything. It just all kind of flows. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like it's like a puzzle. Some things just fit together and they work, and some things don't. But it's an example of a collective when it's done the right way.
Yeah. And I see a lot of collectives on like a smaller level that uh I honestly can't even think of like any names specific, but just tons of different like little groups that are collectives for the sake of being a collective, and it's not really like anyone like gets along or wants to like do anything, but just kind of grow number wise, and it's not about like the music or anything like that. It's just about the numbers and stuff, and that's just not that doesn't really work.
Yeah, no, not at all. Like, and these guys definitely like care about what they're doing too. Like,
Yeah, you can tell. Super heavy
you
too.
you can definitely tell. Like, they're not trying to just follow trends or follow sounds or whatever. Like, they definitely go against the grain. Like, and I think, Darky being the first breakout member was definitely, a testament to that because he definitely a controversial figure, as we all know. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like, he gets people going.
yeah.
Like,
And the whole group is pretty polarizing too. Like I
yeah,
seen, I don't know, like Corpse was like having a little Twitter exchange with Fantano, and just like
yeah,
lots
that's
of
funny.
people, lots of people either love him or hate him. But it's it helps to build like a tight knit fan base when you got people like that.
Yeah, and like you said, polarizing is like perfect, perfect way to describe them. Like
Yeah,
they go against, what we're being told is right. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Fucking. That's why a keyword what we're being told is right. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, they definitely go against the grain, and they're definitely polarizing. And controversy is a big part of it too. And it's not even like they're trying to be any of that. They're all
yeah,
just being themselves. You know what I mean? They're not
yeah,
trying to be fucking edgelords.
yeah. And I'm sure there's like a little here and there like clickbait type of like maybe song titling and stuff, but it's not like they're going overboard with it or anything.
Yeah. No, most definitely. No, most definitely. I feel that, and they're definitely very outspoken. Like, honestly, they're gonna fuck up the industry because you look at as how big Darky is, and then look at there's artists that are smaller than him that like labels jumped on them immediately.
Yeah,
People they're afraid to touch him because of his image.
yeah,
Like, Wendigo said, I can say this because Wendigo said it in an interview. Their fucking last interview we did, labels have been on Wendigo, tried to sign Wendigo. And they're like, we want to sign you and work with you. Like, we can get you in touch with all these artists, but you got to stop working with Lil Darky. And you
dang,
got to stop working with Spider Gang if we're going to
yeah.
sign you.
They could even like make their own label if they wanted to. They really have like
There's no need for
the
them to
ability
sign
to
to a
do
label.
whatever. Yeah, no, for
There's
sure.
no fucking need. And it's like, dude, that's another thing that mirrors our future. Tyler, the Creator, was so fucking controversial. Motherfucker got banned from Australia. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, fucking basically cancel culture's come at Tyler a few times too. I'm sure. I don't pay attention. I'm sick of cancel culture. I don't pay attention
no,
to it
yeah.
like
They
that.
they still do. I saw after his new album dropped, like Twitter was like, but remember when he did this 10 years ago?
Yeah, maybe when he was a kid. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah,
hella young. Like, fucking, yeah. It's just, again, the controversy and how polarizing they are, just it mirrors our future.
yeah, and it helps with growth a lot too.
Definitely.
Because I think it might have been in I think it was a Darky interview. He said, "If you hate on me, you're showing me to more people who are either gonna hate me or love me, and then it's just gonna keep growing that way." And it's the same with everybody in that group.
And the fact that he feeds the cancel culture, he doesn't feed it, but he clearly doesn't give a fuck and has not
Yeah,
let it affect his
he
opinion.
hasn't like stopped doing what he does to
Yeah,
appeal to anyone.
it just makes it more polarizing.
Yeah,
Like, like I feel like I don't know. I'm not even gonna say that, but I feel like just a lot of his fan base in general. Like, I think he said in that same interview, a lot of fan base in general, they just don't care about cancel culture or being canceled.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, just hella similarities off future and going back to like the group thing. Like, what other groups are there in the underground right now? Like, aside from Spider, there's Midnight Society, fucking Anti World,
trying
but
to think right
like
now.
none of them are even close to like the level. And that's no disrespect. I love Midnight Society. I love Kamiata and Bambi. Those are
Yeah,
two great artists, but no one's just doing it like Darky and Spider Gang right now. Like, Darky's the
nah,
biggest artist out right now. I'd argue that's not mainstream.
yeah, in the underground lane, I'd say.
Definitely.
And it's I was thinking about this earlier. It's interesting, like the members, they don't just they don't copy each other or anything. Like I'm thinking about how Janaskis in specific like collabed with I just think this is super interesting. He collaborated with who was it again? Black Winter Wells, super big hyper pop artist, and then just like does stuff in that lane, and then it's just everyone does different things, and it's really interesting how it all comes together.
Yeah, it's mad interesting. They all have different sounds because you listen to like Edison and Flacco, like two radically different sounds, but they make
Yeah,
music together at the same
yeah,
time. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like they like radically different core sounds,
yeah,
but they
definitely.
branch out.
Hmm.
And then like
And it's just cool because like even on maybe like the Reddit or something, you'll see like everyone, no one's super biased or no one has like the same favorite artist, and they'll have it's the cool thing about the group is you can have like a couple favorite artists that are different than everyone else's because everyone has like different sounds. There's more melodic, more aggressive. There's more like maybe meaningful type of stuff. It's all different.
yeah, no, they definitely they're hitting a bunch of different sounds. And like you said, that also helps. And a lot of the members are also crossing over and doing those different sounds. Like Christ
Yeah,
Dillinger doing some rock shit. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
And he'll have a song like I think shit, it's titled it's not Red House anymore. I think it's Over Yonder on the album. But Christ Jones will have songs like Over Yonder and then Suck My Dick on the same album. Two
yeah,
radically different sounding songs. Like Suck My Dick is like a classic Christ Dillinger cut. Like that's like his core sound. Like this is his sound type shit. And
yeah,
then Over Yonder's like some like old blues sounding, old blues rock sounding record. And it's like this is way different than anything we've ever done. And that,
yeah,
that probably comes from working with artists like, you know, 814, Teenage Disaster, Wendigo. You know what I mean? It probably comes with that kind of helped influence his sound. So that's also they're all helping each other get better as
yeah.
artists too.
It's hard not to like visualize like a web in your head when you're thinking of like all the artists and just kind of how it all spreads and stuff. It's
Yeah, it's
interesting.
funny. You know, it is interesting. It's interesting how they all connect to each other and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. And like I imagining a tape between the group would just be sick. Like that'd be
I think it
sick.
needs to happen.
Yeah, it would be amazing.
But it's like I think that having that being said, like they definitely have to be like the biggest group out right now, the most polarizing group, like or collective, like in music. Because if you look at
Yeah,
that, if you look at why the polarizing and the going against the grain and being controversial is a big part of it, but they all like we were just talking about, they all sound different. They all got different sounds. You know what I mean?
yeah,
They're all multi-talented. A lot of them are rapping and producing. Wendigo started rapping. You know what I mean? Like they're all doing different shit.
yeah,
Um, they're not. Yeah, they don't follow trends either. That's a big thing. They definitely stand the fuck out.
yeah. Which is
Like
good for longevity too, because if you're following a wave, the wave's gonna die, and you go with it.
they
If you don't do
definitely
something different.
they started their own wave instead of jumped on a wave. It's hella
Yeah,
important.
yeah,
There's base talent that's got to be there. They have base talent. Like
yeah,
you know what I mean. And then they have other things like you said. They got other members like Troy the editor, in-house editing, like the Plague, in-house clothing.
yeah,
Um, they got a lot of shit, and I'm sure they're gonna add more to strengthen what they got going.
yeah. And that's
Um,
another big thing is like the longevity is like a lot of artists or collectives, if you have the same sound over and over and over again, people are gonna get bored. But they have so many sounds and just like the
mhm.
ability to just I like they could never die as a group.
And they're real good at consistently feeding their fan base too. Like, and they don't outshine each other. Like Darky and Corpse never drop an album or a song on the same day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're all very good at coordinating their drops to keep their fan base consistently fed, whether it be with music videos, music, merch. Like their merch drops
Yeah.
are nuts.
Plague is super dope. I got a bunch of Plague clothes right now. So when they got Plague on board, that was dope. And it's just like they're kind of getting every little facet of creativity filled up and like sufficing for their fans.
It'll be interesting to see how they grow after this, because I feel like another member is bound to blow up on the level of Darky very soon.
Yeah.
And after this European tour, Darky's about to be way bigger.
Definitely.
Like going 2021, his growth is going to be bro. Going 2022, my bad.
Yeah. And as like
Growth.
COVID kind of comes to a stop and they can start doing more shows and tours and stuff, it's just going to be insane.
Definitely. And it's almost like COVID kind of benefited them in a sense, because they just stayed perfecting the music and perfecting what Spider Gang was and releasing content online. And then when COVID hits, it was like a big, like, all this anticipation built up to like, yo, we can finally fucking meet these people.
Yeah. So the anticipation builds and you can finally like throw a show at the end of it or whatever.
Because Spider Gang and Lil Darky really got solidified in the pandemic.
Yeah.
During the pandemic.
It started like with the March TikTok stuff, I think. Like last year, and then just kind of kept blowing up and getting a ton more attention.
Definitely.
And it funneled down from his viralness on the internet, and I think a lot of probably majority fans kind of came from Darky and just kind of funneled down the Spider Gang rabbit hole. Mm-hmm. But that's a great way to do it because you just fall in love with everyone's music.
Nah, definitely. And then speaking of March and the whole TikTok and the whole cancel culture shit really happened. It's almost like, does cancel culture even work? Is it possible to cancel Lil Darky?
I feel like it backfired.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like it was like cancel culture took a shotgun, put it like to their, I don't even know, because then people are gonna get, because you can't shoot yourself with a shotgun. I don't know, but like people are gonna. It's like almost like they took a gun, put it in their mouth, just pull the trigger. Like it completely fucking backfired. Like it's like, does cancel culture even fucking work? Are people just sick of how PC everything is?
Yeah.
I feel like everything got so PC to a point. Everyone was just so fucking sick of it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
I think, I mean, obviously some instances it does work, but with stuff like this, it's like maybe for like a corporate job, you get fired. But for like an artist with a fan base, what are you doing? What's the point?
Like, what's the point? And it's almost like they didn't look deep enough into like what he was saying and like, his message.
And his fans aren't going to stop being his fans because a bunch of people on Twitter said not to, or TikTok. Like, that's just not going to happen.
No, definitely. And it's just like all that happened. And it's like there was a point where, you saw a few videos like, yo, fuck Lil Darky. You got to cancel him. Like, we're canceling Lil Darky, all this shit. It's almost like there was like 10 times the amount of videos that were like, nah, we're not canceling Lil Darky. And like explaining the character and stuff like that. That's actually
I think I even had one of those back in the day and got taken down. But I was kind of talking about like the TikTok stuff and tons of arguments for in my comments. It was interesting, but it was fun.
It was almost like, I do know he had a hard time with it in a sense. Like, I don't even think it was just the cancel culture stuff. I think he had a hard time more or less like dealing with getting bigger at the same time. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it was kind of a hard transition mentally. But at the same time, like, he just doesn't give a fuck. And you can't cancel somebody who doesn't give a fuck. Yeah. Like, it's like he didn't stop. He's just good. It's gonna, this cancel Lil Darky thing is gonna go on as long as his career.
Yeah, you know, and I mean, if we're using the Odd Future example, that's like people still trying to cancel Tyler.
Yeah,
and it might die down in the future once he's become more solidified, if he can even get to that point. But because I feel like some of this stuff, how polarizing they are and how much more PC the society's gotten, it's going to be very difficult for that group to just like to be at like a super mainstream level. Like, I don't know. I don't know if that will ever happen, but like they are gonna. It's almost like the biggest group
to get to the mainstream level. Where we're at right now. It's kind of like you got to work corporations and labels. That's what we kind of see as mainstream. Everybody
Yeah.
knows you. You're working with corporations. You're most
Yeah.
likely signed. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You're doing major tours, selling all this shit. But it's like with the internet and all the tools that Spider Gang has now and that they're going to gain and how good they are at utilizing the internet. And honestly, even looking at the capital they're gaining, if we want to go
Yeah.
into financials, selling out a 500-person show at $30 ticket and then selling thousands of dollars in merch. Look at all that revenue. I know we
Yeah.
don't do this for the money, but you can do a lot with money to grow your art.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, do they need all that to get to the mainstream? Or are we going to get to a point in music, in being a DIY independent fucking artist, that they could start a label and do that shit themselves with the capital
Yeah.
that they're going to gain?
And like you said, the internet, like with the internet, how it is now, you do not need the label or the industry connections. Obviously, they help, but like once you're at the level they are, they can definitely just kind of use their own fan base and whatever else to get to a point where you definitely don't need a label for that stuff.
Or they
Yeah,
go,
and I feel like that show kind of just solidified. That was kind of like the graduation from like, yeah, this is what Spider Gang is, and kind of the beginning probably of a super bright future for them.
yeah, no, most definitely. Most definitely.